Coming up on this edition of ATV News.
Forcing people to get a vaccine is unconstitutional.
They were outside the hospital protesting the vaccine mandate, but they work inside.
Doing this is nothing compared to what they went through.
These cadets marched through the night to pay their respects for our veterans. They will show you why.
I think it's important to have that exposure.
We'll show you why this multicultural celebration has become a beloved USU tradition.
Don't be fooled by the sun, it's cold out here. I'll show you just how cold it's gonna get in weather.
In sports, which Aggie teams didn't win? The answer is too good.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
Chanting was loud as protesters gathered outside Logan Regional Hospital to speak out against the hospital's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Welcome to ATV News. I'm William Boltez.
And I'm Sarah Murphy. Now, those speaking out, they say they're still protesting the mandate. This crowd at the hospital was made up of over 50 nurses with their families and friends.
And Logan Regional Hospital is following the national mandate and telling employees if they're not vaccinated by December 5th, they're at risk of losing their jobs. With cheers and homemade signs, protesters stood at the corner of 1400 North and 400 East for almost 2 hours Saturday afternoon. Nurses say they're upset they might lose their jobs and they want to fight for their freedom.
I love my job, I always have. I've been there for 30 years, I'm doing the same thing for 30 years. But now I'm being forced to choose between a vaccine and keeping my job. And I consider myself a good nurse. But apparently getting this vaccine is more important than keeping good nurses.
The hospital says the federal government is requiring them to enforce the mandate and it will help keep patients safe.
And with this vaccination effort, Logan Regional Hospital and other hospitals in Utah have seen no big change in case numbers the past weeks. Now, there have been more than 11,000 since last week, with more than 25,000 active hospitalizations, and there have been more than 500,000 total. In the Bear River Health District, which contains Cache, Box Elder, and Rich counties, there have been more than 1,000 cases since last week, with about 1,500 active hospitalizations, and there have been more than 32,000 total. And here at USU, we've had 46 new cases since last week, 45, with 141 active cases. There have been more than 4,000 total. And vaccination rates have continued their slow but steady climb, with around half the population fully vaccinated in both Utah and the Bear River District. 55.6% of Utahns have been fully vaccinated, up about 0.5% from last week. And in our health district, 49.4% have been fully vaccinated, which is up about 7% from last week.
Double check you locked your car tonight. Police say you could have it broken into. Yvonne Bass will show us what you can do to prevent it.
Logan, Utah, everyone leaves their doors unlocked.
Broken pill bottles and a Dramamine pill sleeve are all that was left behind of Farnsworth's personal belongings.
Someone violated my privacy.
Police weren't surprised pill bottles were taken. When it comes to most burglaries, they say,
whether it's breaking into storage units, houses, cars, or just stealing a bike or whatever, there's a high percentage that there's drugs that are involved.
The cars broken into in this series of thievery had one thing in common.
There was no sign of forced entry. It was just I ended up leaving one of my doors unlocked.
Locking your car door isn't a foolproof way to protect your stuff. Thieves will often break car windows to get to something that looks expensive. So, I'm not going to give them anything to look at.
To protect her car even more, Farnsworth's boyfriend bought her a security system.
You see the blue blinking light? That means it's armed.
But even with locked doors, hidden valuables, and alarms, your stuff can still be taken. Hoth says, just keep your valuables in a safer place.
Just don't leave anything of personal value in the car.
Yvonne Bass, ATV News.
Farnsworth says 3 other cars were broken into just in her apartment's parking lot. She said the officer said hers was the 17th car broken into that weekend.
10 people are now dead after a crowd surge at the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston.
Help! Lucas!
This video from the concert shows a group of people being crushed together and one person dialing 911. 9-year-old Ezra Blount died this week, becoming the youngest and most recent death from the concert. In his family's lawsuit against event organizers, they say he was killed from severe damage to internal organs, including his brain, after being crushed by the crowd. These injuries are similar to what killed the other 9 at the event.
U.S. Catholic bishops are at a conference to amend a document that could bar many Catholics from receiving communion. President Biden is one of the center points of this debate. Catholic Church leaders say his support for abortion does not align with the Church's doctrine. The document will be voted on tomorrow.
The new federal infrastructure bill signed by President Biden on Monday gives Utah billions more for infrastructure projects. Lawmakers are planning to use the money for road and bridge repairs, connecting broadband and internet to rural areas, and projects to get clean and running water to locations that don't have it.
The name Dixie fell out of favor when people complained that it had racist undertones. Now, Dixie State is waiting for the last signature from Governor Cox before they officially change their name to Utah Tech University.
Rain or shine, night or day, cadets from USU's Air Force ROTC hold a vigil for Veterans Day every year.
Yeah, and I took a camera to their 24-hour ceremony and found out why these cadets do it.
Doing this is nothing compared to what they went through.
I don't want to let them be forgotten.
It's an amazing experience.
We do the POW MIA vigil every Veterans Day. We can add little flags around, and it's just a great way to remember.
I respect our troops so much. I think it's amazing what they sacrifice, everything they go through, what their family sacrifices for us. And this is just something little we can do to show our appreciation for them.
We do 1-hour shifts and basically marching around the flags.
Walking around and doing the marching, it's something that doesn't really pass through my mind because what I think about is all of what the prisoners of war had to go through.
Every single person who volunteered, we connected that to the name of a prisoner of war missing in action who served from Utah. Throughout a 24-hour period, we always have a vigil, so we have a watch. Throughout the day, throughout the night, rain, shine, snow, storm, we have 2 cadets guarding those flags.
It's just a really reverent and sacred feeling environment.
I'm really grateful for everyone who's fought for America and is fighting.
It's honoring all veterans. This is just an extra way that we're doing this vigil for the POW MIAs.
My dad had some friends that were prisoners of war. He said especially that he appreciates it because there's a lot of people that end up don't coming back. We want to give our thanks to them and everything they've done for us.
Veterans Day is a celebration of all veterans. It's a celebration of service for all those who sacrificed, great or small, for the United States.
And Sarah, let me tell you, those cadets are resilient. They told me a story of last year. One of the cadets had icicles coming from his mask that they were wearing after his 1-hour shift.
You know, what they're doing is really incredible, and I'm grateful for not only for the cadets for showing their respect, but for all the veterans who have served for our country.
Absolutely. And coming up,
it will be built as a community gathering place.
Logan is getting a new library. We'll show you what staff is doing to help smooth the move.
We try and just give them a little bit of a taste so that we can get them interested.
We'll show you what these college students are doing to catapult these kids into the STEM field.
And coming up in weather, Emma Fates will have the 7-day forecast. The current temperature is 38 degrees.
If you can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. We inspire and show
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
It's a crystal clear day today in Cache Valley, and as you can see from this radar, it's pretty much looking that way all through Utah. But let's take a closer look at how cities looked this morning. So up in northeastern corner of Utah, you can see this beautiful sunrise over Willie Spring. And then down in Oak City, which is in central Utah, right outside of Delta, again, just a crystal clear blue sky. And it's the same story up in Daybreak in the Salt Lake area. And then finally down in Zion National Park, beautiful day for a hike, and the cars were lining up before it was even light outside. So again, crystal clear here in Utah, but let's see if it's the same story in the rest of the nation. So as we're looking through the rest of the nation, you can see there's a few scattered storms kind of coming along, nothing too big, but you can see in this Great Lakes area, they'll get a little bit of maybe snow and rain, possibly from lake effect, and it's just a low pressure system working its way through the nation. Now let's see if Utah will get any rain or snow in our 7-day forecast. Over here today, Wednesday, it's a little bit chilly at 38 degrees, sunny, but we will warm up as we go throughout the rest of the week. Thursday, we hit a high of 47, partly cloudy. On Friday and Saturday, we do have a little bit of a chance of rain at 20 and 30% with highs at 51 and 48. And as we move to next week, Sunday and Monday, it's nice and sunny with highs of 46 and 49 and a low of 27 and 30. And on Tuesday, we do have a slight chance of rain and snow, so you'll have to look out for that. Now you're all caught up on weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Emma. The Logan Library is getting a new home. To show you more about what changes are coming, Dalton Renshaw joins us live from the Merrill Kazir Library.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm here at the Merrill Kazir Library, which shares some of the same features that the new Logan Library will have when it's completed. Part of the proposal is to add new study rooms similar to this one. Plans also show 42 more parking spaces and 4 indoor children's parks to come as well. While construction is going on, most of the books, movies, and computers that you find at the library now are moving to the temporary location, and all online services will be available during the move. A small browsing section in the lobby of the temporary location is proposed, with most of the resources moving online. But for those who prefer to browse in person, staff say they are willing to help people find what they need.
Librarians will be willing to help people decide what to read, because sometimes people come in and just browse, right? There's a lot of resources that will not change, but we know that it's still kind of different for people.
The last day to check something out is December 3rd, with the temporary location opening January 31st, 2022. The completion of the new library is scheduled in the summer of 2023. Reporting live from the Merrill Kazir Library, Dalton Renshaw, ATV News.
Thanks, Dalton.
You may have run into medical expenses too big for your wallet. For these people, there's one day a year they can save some cash. This local dentist office looked different from other clinics around the valley on Saturday. It was full. At Aspen Dental of Cache Valley, dentists volunteer one day a year to do free treatments for anyone who needs it. This is their 6th year cleaning teeth for free.
Okay, William, I have a question for you. What can you teach a kid with a balloon?
All I can think of is balloon animals.
That is one way, but I met with some people who figured out a way you can use it to teach kids about engineering. Now, I went to an event that tries to build interest by building experiments.
Please don't pop!
That one didn't, but this one did. And this one. And this one.
Another pop!
Their ears may be hurting.
Killed my ear. It kind of blew up, so.
But they're stretching their brains.
Maybe blow it up before you.
They're using balloons Play-Doh, PVC pipes, and water.
Imagine if this was our blood trying to get to our brain.
As a model for unclogging an artery.
This was in someone's body. Would you want it to poke through?
No.
Would you want to scrape the sides at all?
That's one activity for the more than 60 kids at USU's Engineering Extravaganza Junior.
We really want to just introduce STEM to students at this age because that's when it's going to affect them the most.
I'm just really thankful the school's putting this on and that the kids can come and enjoy something like this.
Volunteers say each activity lets kids experience a splash of real-world engineering.
I am dropping everything today, Taylor.
We have one for civil and environmental engineering. They're cleaning up an oil spill. We have one for mechanical engineering. They're making little catapults. We have electrical engineering. They're going to make a circuit. And we have biological. And what they're doing is they're making devices to clean out clogged arteries.
And the one that got them chatting
Might only be going through one of the LEDs. The Play-Doh circuit. I think that one's pretty cool.
You build with Play-Doh and the circuits. The Play-Doh circuit is we were using the Play-Doh as a conductor, which means it carried electricity just like a cord does.
The Play-Doh circuit, a fan favorite activity from today. Using Play-Doh, circuits, and batteries, students had to figure out how to make these LED lights light up. Now, volunteers say it's activities like this one that they hope make STEM seem fun and appealing for these kids.
I'm hoping that these kids will go home and realize that, oh, I do want to do something like this later in life, and it's a really good feeling.
A goal that may already be launching careers.
Engineer.
You want to be an engineer? Why do you want to be an engineer?
So I can make things that people can use.
I've never heard that before, but maybe there's been a spark today. Maybe this could be the change of her future plans.
The event was free and it was put on by the Society of Women Engineers. They say they hope to continue to have more events like this one in the future.
Oh, who knew balloons could be so useful? That Play-Doh one looked really fun. I really loved Play-Doh as a kid.
I absolutely have to agree with the kids. It was my favorite. It did take me a couple tries to figure it out, but super interesting. And coming up,
change the future is what you can do.
we'll show you how Aggies came together to change kids' futures.
It's very lively and very fun.
We'll show you the performances that lit up the Festival of Lights.
How is it this guy's always in the right place?
And the men's basketball season continues as Justin Bean runs the court. We'll show you how they're doing in sports.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
Big Blue dancing to Taylor Swift and fans dressing up as bananas. Just a couple reasons why you should go to women's basketball games. More on how they did in a bit. Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm LEAH CRISCIONE. Let's start by taking a look at how our football team did this week. The Aggies had a slow start with the Spartans taking a 7-0 lead late in the first quarter when Kenyon Reed intercepted a pass by Aggie quarterback Logan Bonner and returned it 58 yards for a touchdown. It marked the first time since 2019 that an opponent had a pick six against the Aggies. In the second quarter, Bonner fumbled after being sacked and the Spartans recovered the ball on Utah State's 38-yard line. 3 plays later, though, San Jose doubled their lead when Tyler Nevins scored on 1-yard touchdown run, making it 14-0. Soon after, the Aggies answered San Jose State's touchdown with their first score the next time they touched the ball. Bonner threw a 2-yard touchdown pass to senior wide receiver Savon Scarver, making the next score 14-7. The Aggies went on to score 2 more touchdowns, making it 24-14 at the half. And coming back from the half, Brandon Bowling caught a 5-yard pass from Bonner and headed into the end zone. Bonner threw a 41-yard pass that landed right into Derek Wright's arms, right there. The Aggies finished it off with this sneak coming up into the end zone by Calvin Tyler Jr., making the final score 48-17. The Aggies are back at home to face Wyoming this Saturday on senior night. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Last week, we asked you if new men's basketball head coach Ryan Odom should stick around. I think this game might have helped his case. The Aggies and the Spiders traded baskets out of the gate before the Spiders took a 7-point lead. The Aggies countered with 7 unanswered points to tie the game 18-18. The teams kept trading the lead, and at a last-second three-pointer by the Spiders gave them a 43-37 lead going into break. Coming back from the break, the Aggies scored 7 unanswered points to take a 44-43 lead to 2 minutes into the final half. The teams then traded leads again, but Utah State scored 8 straight, creating a double-digit buffer. Free throws by Bean and Jones ultimately sealed the victory for the Aggies 85-74. And after this win, Bean says they just knew they had to step it up.
I think we just knew that we had to come in and be tougher, man. They out-rebounded us pretty good that first half. Thought we weren't playing physical enough, so got the guys together and said we got to start now, man. The season has to start somewhere, so we had to pick up big time.
Utah State remains on the road next week with 3 games at the Myrtle Beach Invitational in Conway, South Carolina. The Aggies will face Penn in the opening round of the tournament tomorrow. The women's basketball team took on Cal State Fullerton on Saturday at the Spectrum. The Titans burst out of the gates with the 20-6 run over the game's first 7.5 minutes. The Aggies responded to trim Fullerton's lead to a mere 3 points early in the second quarter. The two sides exchanged runs during the second quarter as the Titans entered halftime with a 38-32 lead. Facing a 7-point deficit midway through the third quarter, 2 3-pointers from senior Kaylin Rondawa ignited an 18-2 run, which gave the Aggies control of the game. And Coach Ard said it seems like they are a fourth quarter team because this is the same thing they did in the previous game. And she was right because their lead swelled to double digits, allowing the Aggies to win 85-75. Now, the team lost 81-49 against California yesterday, but will return on Friday to play against Loyola Marymount. Utah State's men's tennis wrapped up play on Sunday at the LMU Invitational. The Aggies finished the final day of the tournament with 5 wins, 2 in doubles and 3 in singles. This Invitational completes Utah State's fall tournament season as the team will now prepare for its dual match season this winter and spring. And the women's tennis team wrapped up their play this weekend at the CSUN Invitational on Saturday. Senior Annalise County went undefeated in singles play. County also claimed a consolation championship in doubles play alongside Gabrielle Deckers, going 2-1 for the weekend. This invitational also concludes their fall tournament season. The volleyball team defeated Nevada 3-1 on Saturday. The Aggies remain in second place in the Mountain West standings with the victory. This win sets up a pivotal match as Utah State returns to Wayne Estes Center to take on league-leading Colorado State on Thursday. With the victory, the Aggies would enter into a tie for first place in the conference. Senior Katie Haviland led Utah State's 22nd ranked women's cross-country team to a 7th place finish at the NCAA Mountain Region Championships on Friday at Timpanogos Golf Club. The Aggies will find out on Saturday if they earned a spot in next week's NCAA Championships. The 21st ranked men team tied with Montana State as each team scored 177 points. But the Bobcats won the tiebreaker with a better 6th place time and took 7th, while the Aggies finished 8th. We have one more win to add to the list. The undefeated Ridgeline High School went to the 4A championship on Friday and took home the trophy. The final score was 45-20. Congratulations to all the teams who won this week, and you are all caught up on sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Leah. Aggies from different campus organizations worked together to raise money for the Primary Children's Hospital during the annual Aggie-thon Dance Marathon Saturday in the Fieldhouse. With dancing, games, and children with illnesses sharing their experiences, they raised over $20,000 for the hospital. Organizers say people not only give to kids, they also got something back.
To learn of their resilience, to learn of the lesson of just getting outside yourself and working for a better cause changes lives forever.
Organizers say the event was a success, and they are excited to continue to hold it and keep changing kids' lives.
The Indian food might have drawn people into USU's Diwali night, but Emma Fates shows us it was the colorful cultural celebration that kept them dancing through the evening.
Buzzing sitar strings, songs inspiring all ages to hop on stage, and Kahoot quiz music. People heard it all at Saturday's Diwali celebration.
Diwali is a traditional festival that is celebrated in India.
The dancing never let up, and neither did the cuteness of the kids.
Why do you worship him?
Nothing could distract the crowd as they portrayed Hindu gods like Indra.
No one is as powerful as me.
That is, until the smell of food wafted through the air. But you didn't need Indian heritage to enjoy this celebration.
Just fascinated with the culture and the colors and the music and the dance. Just love it.
The props, the plays, the music, the performances, they're all an important part of tonight. But international students say they're not the most important part of tonight.
This year we really wanted to do something. Hope this event will give people some joy.
Diwali is the festival of lights. International students say it's all about following the light and finding joy. It's a celebration people at USU continue to attend every year.
The world is, I think, a lot smaller than people realize, and sometimes you can get in a bit of a bubble when you're here in, sort of central, central North America, in a small town. You can kind of be a little more isolated from the broader culture.
It's a really good festival to celebrate with the USU people also, so that they also know about the culture, Indian culture, and how these festivals are celebrated.
Emma Fates, ATV News.
Duhan says Diwali is celebrated in many different ways throughout India and surrounding nations, but he's just happy the Indian Student Association was able to get this celebration back to USU after 2 years of it being canceled during the pandemic.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
You can find this and previous editions on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with some more sitar music from Diwali.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.
The surplus store. Someone's trash is about to be my treasure.
We have cords and cables here. We have bags full of towels and sheets. Do you want this fold-up mattress? Because we don't.
We got keyboards, paint cans, whatever this is, typewriters, computer monitors.
It's destiny on the line, and we want you at surplus.
Products are not guaranteed to work. All sales are final. This commercial is not endorsed by Utah State.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.